For most of the 19th century, the British only had direct control over the colony of Sierra Leone, which corresponds to the Western Peninsula around Freetown today. In 1896, the British declared the rest of what we call modern-day Sierra Leone a protectorate, an area which had been mostly left alone by the British. With the declaration of the protectorate came the tax that this war is named after, the hut or house tax, which was introduced by Governor Frederick Cardew in 1898. Although other underlying causes such as general British encroachment contributed to the causation of the war, the hut tax was definitely the trigger, with many local chiefs refusing to pay the tax. The war officially began when Timneh chief Bai Bureh refused to pay the hut tax and fought back and resisted after the British attempted to arrest him on the 14th of February 1898. Bai Bureh's defiance of the hut tax in northern Sierra Leone was not the only opposition the British faced in 1898, as there was also a Mende-led rebellion in the south. However, the better known resistance was that of Bai Bureh, the man who had the nickname Kebelai, meaning one who never tires of war. When the British sent troops to arrest Bai Bureh on the 14th of February 1898, and they fired on his local forces, Bai Bureh's men retaliated, thus beginning the war. By the 19th of February 1898, Bai Bureh's forces had successfully hampered British communications between Freetown and Port Loko, where the main fighting was taking place. This began the successful guerrilla warfare campaign led by Bai Bureh against the British. Bai Bureh and his forces had numerous successes in the early stages of the war, as he was able to evade capture from the British. This success can be attributed to his familiarity with the land, ability as a tactician, and first-hand knowledge of the British, having fought alongside them in the past in 1892. After his refusal to pay the tax, Governor Cardew put a bounty of £100 on Bai Bureh's head. True to his character, Bai Bureh famously retorted by offering £500 to any man who could capture Governor Cardew. This highlights the bold nature of Bai Bureh, a man who faced a supposedly insurmountable threat and for a while succeeded. However, eventually through superior firepower and the British adopting a scorched earth strategy, their forces were able to overrun the area which Bai Bureh operated in, causing him to surrender on the 11th of November 1898. At the same time, vicious fighting also took place in the south of Sierra Leone, led by the Mende, who were also opposing the hut tax and its attack on their sovereignty. The fighting in the south, although eventually put down, was some of the most unyielding the British would encounter in West Africa. Although Bai Bureh, the leader of the rising, was treated with relative leniency as he was placed into exile in the Gold Coast, 96 of his men were hanged by the British for their insurgency. After serving a period in exile, Bai Bureh returned to Sierra Leone in 1905, where he was reinstated as chief at Kassai until his death in 1908. The significance of the hut tax war cannot be understated, as it is the last large-scale rebellion that occurred in Sierra Leone during Britain's occupation of it, and amongst some of the stiffest resistance they would face in West Africa. Moreover, the war has a great importance in Sierra Leone to this day, with Bai Bureh standing up to British colonial power, causing him to be one of the country's most prominent national heroes. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.